Hey, it's Ian with Footpath Marketing. In this video, I want to give you a walkthrough on basically the three campaigns we use to make sure we're covering off all locations when we're setting up a Google AdWords campaign. Now, if you're looking at the a post on our site where we outlined location hacks, there's a link in the description below this, which you can check it out, then this will make a lot of sense. But the idea is that we're very big on targeting with postal codes or zip codes if you're in the US, rather than city specific. And the reason we do that is because it gives us some more granular information that we can look at, right? So let's go take a look at how we've got these campaigns set up. The idea behind this is we've got three campaigns targeting three separate areas, right? So let's look at the campaigns. The first one targets specifically right around the business's radius, right? So in this particular campaign, I believe there's just a handful. There's 4 different postal codes we're targeting, and these are the postal codes which are right around this business's location. You can see they all get a reasonable number of impressions, but then when we look at the conversion data over here, you can see one postal code isn't converting, but the other 3 are, right? By targeting this way, what it allows you to do is you can eliminate the postal codes that are maybe taking up ad spend and aren't getting conversions, and then that ad spend can be spent on the other postal code areas that do. Now, some of you might be saying, what about the new geographic report here that AdWords came out with? And theoretically, you can do the same thing. What you can technically do is you could target all of a particular city, and then you can come in here and look at the postal codes that are getting clicks, and you could eliminate the ones that aren't getting conversions, but we just set it up this way because it gives us transparent data up front. So that's step one. So the first campaign is targeting the immediate radius around the business. Now, the next campaign is going to be targeting the whole city. So this particular business is in Halifax, and what we're doing now is we're targeting all the postal codes that are in the whole city, and we're excluding the ones that we targeted in the first campaign. So basically, we're forcing this campaign to trigger for someone who doesn't live in the radius of that particular business to show versus the original one. So why would you want to advertise to the whole city if you're located in a specific geographical area? And the reason for that is, I'll show you. People are looking for, so this particular business is in Clayton Park. You'll see people are looking for this particular term, like a chiropractor Clayton Park, even if they don't live in that suburb of Clayton Park. So we want our ads to show, maybe you work in another part of town and you're searching for a chiropractor where you live, or you're going to be visiting that part of town or something like that. So we want to make sure that we're covering all our bases for locations. So if you don't live in the immediate area where the business is located, but you still do a search outside that area, you want our ads to show. So that's the second type of campaign. Now, the third type of campaign is it's complete state or province coverage. So this is the third one. So for this one, we're basically targeting the whole province, right? And we're excluding all the postal codes we've targeted in the other ones, right? Again, forcing the other campaigns to trigger. And we're not advertising this business's services to the whole province. We're only advertising the area where they're at. So for instance, if you're 2 hours away and you search for a chiropractor in Halifax, because you're coming to Halifax, then this campaign will trigger. And that makes sense because you may be visiting that area and you may want a chiropractor services, right? So that's kind of how we set it up. The 3 ways we've got, so immediate radius postal codes, right? Or zip codes. Then we've got whole city, and we exclude these ones in number 1. And then we've got whole province or state, and we exclude the other 2. Now, it's important with this whole province or state campaign that you are only targeting words with your city or suburb in it. So if you're a chiropractor, you don't want to target the word chiropractor on its own in the whole state. You may in your immediate postal codes, because if you live in, whatever zip code and someone searches chiropractor, that's okay, because they're looking for a chiropractor potentially in your area. They live in that area. Google knows that, so showing your ad makes sense. But if they live 3 hours away in another city or somewhere else in that province or state and they search chiropractor, they're looking for a chiropractor where they're at, right? So we want to have that modifier on there, Halifax, Toronto, whatever it is, right? So that's just an important takeaway. So that's some location hacks for how you can sort of best spread out your advertising budget and make sure that everybody who potentially wants to find your product or service in your city will see your ads in Google AdWords. It's an important aspect of setting up the campaign. and not to be overlooked. I know everybody wants to look at keywords, bids, and ads and things like that, but the locations matter, and taking the time to set it up this way gives you a better view of where people are clicking, where you're getting your conversions from, and allows you to scale, turn things off on where it's not working, and have a little more control.